This is Mackenzie Shirilla, a 17-year-old who was found guilty of murder for causing a car crash that killed her boyfriend and his friend.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Shirilla's boyfriend Dominic Russo and his friend Davion Flanagan were in the car when she crashed into the side of a commercial building outside Cleveland going 100 miles per hour. Both men were pronounced dead at the scene and Shirilla survived. Prosecutors argued that the teen had a toxic relationship and that Shirilla had made violent threats against her boyfriend.
Threatened his property? She threatened to break into his house?
Correct.
Reportedly, she crashed her car on purpose because she wanted to kill her boyfriend, and his friend became collateral damage. Prosecutors said the intent was clear after reviewing the video, stating that it showed there was only one goal.
You see her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
And a few days before the crash, she allegedly drove the same route to plan the crime. This is part of what led the judge to find her guilty.
Count 1. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo.
She now stands up to be placed in handcuffs, continuing to tear up.
Count 2. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Davion Flanagan.
Shirilla now has a moment to speak before her sentencing.
The families of Don and Davion, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. She's sentenced on count 1, 15 years to life. Count 2, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
The judge has just sentenced her to 15 years to life in prison.
This is Aiden Fuji, who pled guilty in court to the murder of his classmate when he was only 14 years old.
Having fun in a cop car.
Yep.
Fuji was classmates with a 13-year-old girl at Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns County, Florida. He stabbed her 114 times, and her body was later found in the woods. After his arrest, he was seen in the back of a police car taking Snapchats. This video shows Fuji and his parents in the interrogation room.
The Snapchat that you did was not very smart.
Like you're all over the internet everywhere. This is seriously.
It's very serious.
No joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
A video presented by prosecutors showed Fuji and the girl allegedly walking together shortly before she was murdered. About 90 minutes later, the video shows Fuji allegedly running away from the area where her body was found.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
After Fuji pled guilty to first-degree murder, the judge now hands down his sentence.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for a review of the sentence in 25 years.
After Fuji was sentenced, he stood still for a moment. This is Willard Miller and Jeremy Goodale, and at just 16 years old, they are both charged with the murder of their high school Spanish teacher. Reportedly, the motive was a bad grade.
We then moved her off of the trail, where I then struck her, and she died as a result.
Miller and Goodale attended Fairfield High School in southeastern Iowa. Noima Grabber was the Spanish teacher, and Miller was one of her students. After receiving a bad grade from Grabber, he and his friend Goodale allegedly planned to kill her.
We discussed plan. I'll stand up here and look out, wait for Mr. to show up.
Grabber went for her usual walk at Shadow Walker City Park. The boys knew her routine as they stalked her and waited to ambush her.
Here she comes, and she walked by, hit her in the back of the head, and then I said, holy shit, make sure she's dead. So
they then dragged her into the woods and beat her to death with a baseball bat.
what was the plan after that? There wasn't really a plan beyond that. Like hide the body, bury the body, stage the body. At that time, we were going to hide the body. I guess in our arrogance, kind of assumed that nobody would ever find her.
Not long after, both boys were arrested. Court documents alleged that a witness who knew Goodale showed law enforcement Snapchat messages linking Goodale and Miller to the murder. One message reportedly said, "Point of view, "You're my Spanish teacher and this is the last thing you see," followed by, "Time to hide a body." Jeremy Goodale later pled guilty and testified against his best friend, Miller.
I understood that he had the intent to kill Mrs. Graver.
What is your plea to murder in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
This is the moment Goodale gets to speak before his sentencing.
I've had time to think on what to say, and I'm sorry, truly sorry. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way.
The judge now hands down his sentence.
The defendants shall be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Now for Miller, this is him apologizing before he receives his sentence.
I'd like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of a human graver. To the family, I'm sincerely sorry for the distress that I've caused you and the devastation, and I ask that I'm given a chance, and I don't want to be institutionalized. I don't want to be in so long that I forget about what mattered, where I come from, and I look forward to getting through this.
The judge has some final words.
The defendant, Willard Noble Chaden Miller, should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Miller seems to be completely stunned. This is Rachel Scha and Sheila Eddie, who are both in court today for the murder of their friend when they were only 16 years old.
Their scheme was to hide knives on their bodies and to attack Skylar at an agreed-upon moment.
In Star City, West Virginia, Scha and Eddy were friends with 16-year-old Skylar Nye. Reportedly, Scha and Eddy decided they didn't like her anymore and planned to kill her.
Sheila Eddie and Rachel Shoaf carried out that plan. Together they stabbed and killed Skylar.
After Scha's confession, both teens were arrested. Scha agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for her cooperation in the case.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if there's a proper way to make this apology, because there are not even words to describe the guilt and remorse that I feel each day for what I've done. I hurt the Neese family and those who love Skylar. I hurt my parents and shamed my family. May God bring eternal peace to Skylar and the entire Neese family.
After securing a plea deal, the judge now hands Scha her sentence.
Rachel Shoaf, it is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for a period of 30 years.
She will have the possibility of parole in 10 years. Now, for Eddy.
It is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. That sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.